Hey friends, Ash here with Gents. Today I've got two new fragrances for you, both that came out this year, 2020. I'm going to be doing an unboxing and first impression of these, and I'm really hyped for both of them. I've got really high hopes here. The first fragrance is from Narciso Rodriguez. It is Bleu Noir Eau de Toilette Extreme. And then the second fragrance from Guerlain L'Homme Ideal Extreme. So two different extreme fragrances today, but I think each one of these should smell quite different. This one, the Guerlain, has notes like plum, cinnamon, and tobacco, along with almond, which you're going to find in each one of the fragrances in this line. Whereas this one takes more of a fresh look, at least looking at the note breakdown. Because this one has notes like green mandarin, basil, musk, and according to Fragrantica, ice. Though most other places that you look won't have that note listed for this fragrance. All right, enough talk. Let's crack into these and see how good they are. In case anybody is interested, I bought these from News Parfums. It's a French website. Shipping is not too bad to the US. Usually I have to pay something like $18-ish for shipping. All things considered, that's not too bad when you consider some websites will charge you 40, 50 bucks to ship fragrances from Europe to over here. And I bought these in 50 milliliter size, since realistically I'm never gonna work through these bottles. I'm not gonna wear that much. So let's jump into this one first. The Narciso Rodriguez. This is again Bleu Noir Eau de Toilette Extreme, or if you wanted to say it with really poor French, Narciso Rodriguez Bleu Noir Eau de Toilette Extreme. Okay, so here is the box. You've got the name of the house, the fragrance on the front, as well as the size and concentration. There's nothing on the sides or the top of this box. On the back, there's a little bit of a description. It says, mysterious and vibrant, fresh aromatic notes, sensual musk, addictive wood. So just kind of some general ideas on how this fragrance should come across, I suppose. You also got the ingredients listed on the back of the box. And then on the bottom, you'll find your badge code right here. And for those interested, the badge code is 93531. And there's also an M after that badge code. M as in Mary. And here is the bottle. Pretty cool looking. It's got kind of a frosted look to the top of the bottle, and then it does a gradient down to the bottom where it no longer has that frosted kind of matte look. Top of the cap is going to remind you a little bit of Dolce & Gabbana's The One, and it is clear. Actually kind of not the greatest looking cap because it spins freely and it makes that noise. So could kind of do without that. It's just a cheap plastic cap. And then on the bottom of the bottle, you got your badge code. It is etched into the glass. Let's go ahead and spray this on. And I guess I should say, even though I don't like this cap all that much, the bottle looks really nice. There we go. We'll let that settle for just 1 second. All right, let's check it out. I like it. Yeah, that's nice. I get where that ice note would come into play in the sense that this is a very refreshing aromatic fragrance right off the top. It is kind of one of those situations where I don't know why you throw extreme or extreme on the end of the fragrance name, but it's nice. There's green mandarin, and it definitely does come across more as a green mandarin. You've got a little bit of that citrus in there, that citrus sweetness, that citrus juiciness, but definitely more on the green side of things. You can almost pick up that leaf from the citrus. A little bit of aromatic, sort of herbaceousness from the basil, but not an overload. A little bit of clean white musk, some woods underneath it. The wood's not too heavy in the opening, which I would expect. Usually you're not gonna get a big blast of woods in a scent like this off the bat, and you don't hear. It's just kind of underneath everything, laying a base that all the other notes are playing off of. It's very fresh. There's a little bit of sweetness in here, which I'm going to attribute to that green mandarin. I like it. It's maybe not ultra unique, but it's much more unique and much better than most of the fragrances that I've smelled this year. A lot of fragrances this year have let me down. They haven't been very good, or at least not for me personally, but that one's nice. That's one that I could wear in the spring or the summertime. It's gonna set me apart a little bit from the other fragrances that are out there. It does smell of a good quality. It's not too youthful. So it's not going to come across like bubblegummy sweet. It's not going to come across really cloying or anything like that. And these are all things that I like about it. So that one's pretty nice. I'm going to move on to the Guerlain, and I will come back to that as it's dried down a little bit. For me, on a personal level, this is one of the fragrance releases that I've been most excited about this year. This is a line that I really enjoy. Once they show up at discounters, you can usually get them for a pretty good price, all things considered, when you take into account the quality of the scents. I like the almond that's used across the line. And it's a good balance, this line, of both warm weather and cool weather fragrances, and they alternate. So this year, this obviously looks like it's going to be a cool weather fragrance. That means next year's should be a warm weather fragrance. That's how it's been since this line was launched. I did buy a 50 milliliter size, so it's going to stick out a little bit from my other bottles. All the others are 100 milliliters. And now that I'm thinking about it, I should have just bought a 100 milliliter size bottle. That was an oversight on my part. I saved a little bit of money by getting the 50 mil, but it's not going to match. And the main thing that's really driving this home right now is the outside of the bottle. So each one of the fragrances in this line has a colored outside, right? See, here it's clear. Whereas if I would have gotten the 100 milliliter size bottle, this outside would have matched the coloration of the cap. Ultimately, it doesn't really matter. The fragrance on the inside is the same. It's just kind of a pet peeve, I guess. That is completely and entirely my fault. Let's check out this presentation. You've got the name of the house, fragrance, size, and concentration, all right here on the front. This is an eau de parfum. You've got the Guerlain seal there at the top of the bottle. Little info on the back like you'll find on all the fragrances in this line, including the ingredients, and of course, the ideal man is a myth, his fragrance a reality, which you'll also find on each one of the fragrances in this line. On the bottom, you will find your batch code, and it is 0B01. Then you have the bottle here. You got the name of the fragrance and the house on the front. You have the Guerlain seal again, or logo right there at the top of the cap, and on the bottom, your batch code. Let's go ahead and spray this on. This one I have big hopes for. It smells really nice. You get a little bit of that almond, a tiny touch of citrus, not too much. More of the spices coming out, especially cinnamon. You can pick that up right away. And the plum as well. The plum, at first sniff, I didn't get as much, but now I'm picking that up pretty easily. The first thing that this made me think of when I smelled it, the first thing, and I'm not saying it's completely accurate because as I've smelled this more, I'm picking up a lot of differences, but the first thing that I thought of when I smelled this was something along the lines of like Armani Code Absolute or something like that. Not the exact same again, and there are definite differences, as I said, that have been coming out here, but that was the first thing that popped in my mind. But yeah, they're different. They're quite different, so don't worry about that. I think more so it was the leather coming out with sweet spiciness. That's what made me think of Armani Code Absolute or even Profumo. It does have a sort of effervescence to it where it kind of sparkles, jumps off your skin. It's very attention grabbing. For a fragrance that's spicy and sweet and rich, it also has sort of a brightness to it. The almond and heliotrope are kind of working together, and that makes sense because heliotrope can sometimes give off kind of an almondy sort of vibe. This smells really nice. It absolutely makes sense that it would be in this line from Guerlain because this line is sort of more of a designer line for me and for a lot of other people out there, and that's the type of fragrance this is. This is very versatile, very wearable, very likable. So I'm getting mainly sweet cinnamon, the almond and heliotrope kind of working together, a little creaminess underneath the cinnamon. The plum is kind of what's feeding into that sweetness of the cinnamon. So it's going to give you a little bit of a dark fruitiness, but not too dark, not jammy, not thick, kind of like a B-side to cinnamon's A-side. The leather in here, I pick it up right away, and just as a point of comparison to let you know kind of what type of leather I'm talking about, and don't take this as me saying that this fragrance smells like any of the fragrances I'm going to bring up, or that it's super similar to them. I'm just talking specifically about the leather note, is more akin to something that you would find in Code Absolute or Code Profumo, which I already brought up, or Carolina Herrera CH Privé, Cavalli Uomo, La Notte, something like that, where it's a sweet leather. It's not that type of leather that has an animalic facet or a dirty facet or a dark facet or anything like that. It's more like a leather note that has had any of that completely stripped away and made as wearable as possible. That's how the leather smells in this fragrance. All that being said, it does smell great. I really, really like this. And as it dries down, I'm liking it more. That being said, I do like the way this smells. It's really nice. All right, let's go back to the Narciso Rodriguez and then back to the Guerlain and wrap this up. Green, fresh, not really an herbal green though at this point. Just fresh green, a little bit sweet. The musk is right there. That's gonna add cleanliness. A little bit of wood now is coming out. More so ebony wood than cedar. There is a bit of cedar, but ebony wood is what I get more of, at least at this point. Obviously that could change as it dries down. Little remnants of the green mandarin from the opening. I like it, it's nice. Yeah, this is really enjoyable. This is gonna be an easy to wear, kind of high heat fragrance. You could dress this up, wear it formally. You could wear it to the office. A lot of uses for this one. Also, I think people middle-aged or older could pull this off a lot easier than something like Zara Wanted Tonic, for example, or the new Coach Blue. As far as blue fragrances from this year, this one is going to be toward the top, at least for me personally, based off this first impression. I'm going to give this some more wear though, see how it performs, see how it lasts, see how it evolves as it dries all the way down, and also get some opinions on it. And now the Guerlain. So the heliotrope is coming out more. It's like a nice, soft, sort of floral note in there, becoming more noticeable. More almond, more cinnamon, plum not as much. There's a little bit there, but it's more so the heliotrope, the almond, the cinnamon, and also that leather. There's a little bit of tobacco in here, but I don't pick up a huge amount. I actually get more of the leather than I do tobacco leaf. But you can pick up a little bit of the tobacco. It's really nice. I enjoy this a lot. Thankfully, not a letdown. In terms of when I would wear it, it does slot in, honestly, pretty much right in with those fragrances I mentioned before, the 4 fragrances. Kind of right in with those. Same places, same times that you would wear those fragrances is when you would wear this one. But it is nice. I like this more than Cool as a release. Cool, it was okay, but I didn't like it as much as Cologne. This one I like, and it does, I guess, stand alone enough in this line that it makes sense, but I do keep coming back to being reminded a little bit of Code Absolute, almost like this is Guerlain's, fragrance that would compete with Code Absolute for the same seasons and the same reasons. But it's good, I like it. I like both of these fragrances, but they're for completely different seasons and occasions, so I'm not going to pick a favorite between these two. They're both really nice. First impression wise, I'm glad I have them. All right guys, that's going to do it for me for these 2 scents. If you've smelled either one of these, let me know in the comments below what you think about them. I'll wear these some more and do a review on them in the near future. As always, thanks for hanging out with me today. Thanks for all your support, and I'll see you guys tomorrow with another fragrance video. Stay safe out there.